Hey, Flosstube. Hi, this is Lisa. I am coming to you from the cold, snowy Pacific Northwest, actually, which it's been fun. We had snow 3 times this week, and it actually stayed on the ground for a couple of days. Not too shabby for us here. Rain usually turns to rain and melts, and then it turns to ice, and then the roads get really, yeah, anyway. You all laugh at us when it snows here because we shut down. We have reasons, I promise. We have reasons. We're not just wimps. Okay, maybe we're a little wimpy. But anyway, hi. Thank you to all the new subscribers. I've picked up a few. I appreciate that. Wow. This is my Flosstube channel where I talk a lot about cross stitch. Occasionally, I will talk about other things. Okay, that shoulder. I One of the spawn got me a new webcam for Christmas because we've done a lot of Discord family video chatting throughout the pandemic, and my microphone is on my computer is less than ideal on my laptop here. Whoa, don't shake the laptop, please. My microphone is less than ideal. And so they got me a new webcam in the hopes that the microphone would be better. So I'm trying it out and it's a little different. I think it's mirror image or anyway. Okay. All right. Back to the point. I think it was just that I do machine embroidery and cosplay as well. So sometimes I talk about that. Sometimes I talk about my BJDs. Mostly I'm talking about cross stitch because that's really been my go-to craft throughout the pandemic, and discovering Flosstube and the online community, Instagram and Flosstube of cross stitching has been wonderful, has been just really, really wonderful. So all of that to thank those of you who are new. Glad the rest of you have come back. And I have a lot of cross stitch to talk about today. I've got an FO, I've got some whip progress, I have a new start. I got 2 new starts. Actually, I have 2, but I think the other one I'd started when I did my last Flosstube. I'm not sure. I'm confused. We'll see. Anyway, maybe I'm just confused with what I'm putting up on Instagram. Um, okay, but yeah, I have some cross stitch. I have some plans. I don't have a. Why is there never a hair in my face until I start filming? Um, Time, date, place. That's important. I am by training a public historian. I have a master's degree in public history, and we did a lot of oral histories and interviews, and you were always taught that time, date, and place are very important for any interview because future historical interpretation can matter a lot for what they do in the future. And I really don't think future historical interpretation of my Flosstube is going to be a big deal. I really don't think that, but the training's hard to break. I paid for the education. It's been worth it. But anyway, that's the time, place, date thing. It's a good thing, and if nothing else, if someday your great-great-grands are watching this, just like, who was that crazy lady who made all these things that are stuck up on our walls that we don't understand? And it's like, why would anybody like that? Well, here's a little bit of why. Um, oh my God. All right, brain. Train of thought. Flosstube. Yes. Finished object, whip progress, new starts, haul, and plans 2022. I was saying I did not do a whip parade. I kind of did a whip parade in my last Flosstube because at that time I had 5 whips, and that was it. I think I still have 5, although I did finish something. And, I get overwhelmed if I have too many starts. And I like I like really visually seeing the progress that I'm making. That's what inspires me to keep stitching. I am not a process stitcher. I am a production stitcher, maybe. I don't know what you would call it. There's a term. There's got to be a term. Anyway, okay. Well, I hope everyone who celebrated New Year last night had a very happy New Year. We had a quiet New Year in. The Grand Spawn came over. I started my Lord of the Rings marathon properly with the Hobbit movies earlier this week, watched one in the evening, and then yesterday we did the last Hobbit movie and all 3 of the Lord of the Rings extended editions. Those are the only ones that exist. Yeah, it was fun. We had a good time, and the Grand Spawn, this is the first time they had seen the movies. They're 8, and yes, their pronouns are they. They unfortunately came in at the very end of the first one and were very perturbed and kind of upset. It's like, ooh, I forget that, yeah, my kids watched this stuff growing up. It didn't seem to rattle them. But they really liked the next 2 movies, so at some point we're going to have to get them in and actually show them the whole Fellowship of the Ring movie so they can see the nice parts, the fun parts, not the parts where everybody gets, dies and gets captured and Yeah, all the drama. Anyway, it was a good time. Because the Grand Spawn was here, I did not get as much stitching done as I had planned, because I was just like, this is a weekend off, I am stitching, period. That's all I'm doing. Well, I helped them start their first cross stitch kit, which it was a little, it's a Swedish kit, because the instructions were all in Swedish, no English. Anyway, we started it. I got it from Stitched Modern, and I had them start, because they were impatient, I had them start with a full 6 strands of floss on their needle, because it's 10 count Aida cloth, and it's not working, and now I have to figure out, do I pick it out and have them do it again, or do I start them over? I don't know. So that's a dilemma to be solved. And if you have a thought, if any of you have taught younglings, the next generation, to cross stitch, if you have thoughts, I would very much appreciate them, because I'm really torn over what to do, because it just doesn't look that good. All right, jumping into the actual cross stitch. I do have a finish. I am very proud of this finish. It is Thistledew, and I don't have the pattern here. Look, let me drop things. Just put something behind it. By Ink Circles. I'm sorry, the camera is completely backward. Why? There we go. Nice view of my tattoo as well. Anyway, this is Thistledew by Ink Circles. I stitched it on 32 count black linen with the called for DMC. I really like it. I am definitely getting this one framed. It looks washed out. The purples do, at least in my video here. The purples on the top of the, wow, this is really weird. The top here look very washed out. Next time I do this, I'm going to have to see if I can flip the camera so it isn't so weirdly mirrored. But I finished this one right before Christmas, and I am just really, really happy with it. Like I said, it's called for DMC. I love the way the leaves on it look. These look pretty normal, and then up here all of a sudden you get the Celtic knotwork and stuff. And I use a thistle as one of my online avatars for a lot of things, and so I really like this. And plus, I went to Scotland about 15, 16 years ago, and it was such a fun trip. We had such a good time. And so, and my genetic heritage is 90% British Isles. Some of it's Scottish, a lot of it's Northern Britain. So, you know, it fits. So, anyway, that's my one finish for this Flosstube. I love it. Plan to get, like I said, I plan to get it framed. I'm not entirely sure where, if I'm going to do it, if I'm going to try and get someone else to do it. In my last Flosstube, I showed you my Invierno and how I'm not leaving it like that. It's too pretty a stitched piece for me to be as disappointed in the actual finishing of it. So I'm going to redo that eventually. I don't know when. Problem with all these plans for redoing and remaking is that they interfere with stitching time, and sometimes I just feel like I've got to stitch the things, and I don't want to stop and do the other planning and whatnot that stitching requires sometimes. 2 new starts. I guess this is a new start. I don't remember if I started this before. If I haven't, yeah, I had the picture. Where did it go? I was pulling things together in here before I started. Yeah, it's probably out there still. This is Winter Bear by Nora Corbett. If you follow me on Instagram, you've seen it. This is my progress so far. Not too bad. I was kind of hoping to actually finish it this weekend, but I don't know that I will. I might. Youngling and friends are getting together for a movie marathon and whatnot tomorrow, so I'll probably, you know, either go, well, I can't really go anywhere, thanks Omicron. I'm vaccinated, I'm boosted, I'm still not taking my chances, but I'm making good progress on it. One thing I did find is that the white, it's really easy to get lost in, really easy, and so, because it's Blanc white and B352, and I got kind of lost a couple times up in the head. So down here on the body, I'm trying to stitch in the contrast colors, and then I'll just go back and fill in with the Blanc, and then it has beading and whatnot up here. But yeah, you know, I look at some of I saw someone who started it like a week or two ago and they're almost done, and I'm just kind of going. Same with the Christmas elf fairy I'm working on. Someone started it like 2 weeks ago. They've ripped it out twice to change the colors. I think it was Nad's cross stitch. And I was sitting here going, and they're already almost done. I'm like, I am a slow stitcher. That's the only thing I can think of is I am just a slow stitcher. So that was my Christmas Eve start. Didn't do a solstice start. Just kind of, it just didn't work out. I had the week off. I think I was just vegetating. You know, sometimes when you take time off, you just need to be off and not do anything. But my other start is, and I think I pulled a picture up. I started it. I wasn't going to because winter bear, but I decided I would because my fabric came in. Nothing like having a start planned and then realizing you don't have the fabric yet. You didn't buy a big enough piece. And that's what happened with this one. It is Galactic Gal Yard by Tempting Tangles. And I have 36 count Picture This Plus Phantom on hand. And I was like, that's perfect. I'm going to do it. And at some point, I remember thinking I needed to get a bigger piece. And then I just forgot. And I never did. And so I went to start that on Christmas Eve. And I didn't have the fabric for it. And I was like, oh, whoops. Well, I hadn't spent my cross stitch budget yet. We'll pretend I have a cross stitch budget, okay? And so I was like, okay, so fine. So I went, and fortunately, 123 Stitch still had it in stock. So I was able to order it. It came yesterday, and I have a tiny little start here. Woohoo! It's a tiny little corner. I am replacing, as I went on and on ad nauseum in one of my previous videos, I am replacing the, what? You gonna come meow for the camera? I don't know if y'all can hear her. She's in here meowing. Usually she runs when she hears me talking. I think she was a shelter cat. They brought her up from California. I think she was probably a little bit feral for a while, but I also know she likes having a collar on. What? Yeah? What? Come say hi. I know, you don't like it. She's not cuddly. She's a companion cat, but she's not cuddly. She's not affectionate. She is kind of when she wants food. But I love her. She's my mirror gun. Anyway, I think they brought her up from California. She doesn't like boxes. She refuses to get anywhere close to a box. She hates my fire. I have a fireplace. She will not get close to it. If I put a fire in it, she will stay away. Which to me, given the time of when I adopted her and where she is from, I have a feeling she probably experienced some of the fires down in California. We get a lot of shelter animals come up here because evidently we adopt so many animals out. Anyway, okay. We have been visited by the cat goddess. Everyone gets an extra point of inspiration for the week. Back to cross stitch. May it help you with that's that. I don't think there was a cat god of weaving. Weaving gods tended to be spiders and stuff, and I don't know who Teat was an ancient, like, Sumerian or Hittite goddess of weaving, and I'm not sure if she had an animal avatar or not. But anyway, so back to Galactic Gal Yard. I am replacing the Bible verse. I do not do Bible verses. I chose this Carl Sagan quote: "The sun is a red-hot stone, the stars a celestial flame, the galaxy the backbone of night." I'm editing it a little bit to make it fit and read a little better. And then on the bottom, that takes care of, I put my picture away too soon, didn't I? Let me pull it up again. So I looked at poems and stuff, but then I just thought, for the stars, it needs something science-y. So I figure, oh, there we go. Okay, get this figured out here. So you can see my thread rack on the wall up there in the reflection. So up here is where I'll put the star, the sun, a red hot star, the galaxy, and then the galaxy, the backbone of night, will come down here, and I may need something to fill in a little bit here. I'm not sure. And then across the bottom here, I'm just going to put "We are made of star stuff," because that is the quote. Yeah, I think that's probably one of his most famous quotes. He had some other ones that were really cool. We were wanderers, we were born wanderers, and we are wanderers still, which I really like that one. But I just felt like I really like the sun and moon one that I've got picked out for this. I think it's going to work out really well. I'm getting it graphed in. The hardest part was finding a tee that matched. I don't want to show you too much of this because I do not want to show the pattern. But I printed out the pattern and then taped it together all in one big spot. I'll just show you from the back. It's 3 pages. The camera's going weird. 3 pages by 3 pages, so it's 9 by 9. And that way I could actually see the way the wording, I apologize for the print plate, the way the wording looked. And then I started kind of I covered it all, tried to find, the hardest part is matching the graph. And, if I can do this without showing it. I should have thought about this ahead of time. I apologize. There we go. That's a little better. So I'm not showing the pattern. But anyway, so I started graphing it out using the lettering that's on the pattern. And then I got that far, and I kind of, this is celestial, and then it's a little bit of work. I had a really hard time finding a way to make the A that they have, it's really pretty and ornamental, to a T, and so I finally wound up, this is a freebie pattern from DMC on their website, and so I downloaded that, and I kind of mishmashed them together to get the T. Once I start stitching it, I will show it. I'm not going to stitch it right now. I've got that part in, but then I need to work on the spacing, and so at one point I need to sit down and just count how wide my different spaces are and then fit the letters in that way. I've done this before. I'm actually, for all my whining and complaining about sewing together the little tiny quilty bits of my Invierno finish, I can do this stuff on paper. That doesn't bother me. I can sit and count and space things properly. I always liked designing quilts. I just hate sewing them. So that's this. I am stitching it, like I said, on the 32 count Picture This Plus Phantom, which I just love. It's pretty. It's kind of galactic-y looking. It's got the colors, as you can see, a little bit of color. But it's not so overwhelming because that's a pretty busy pattern, and so I didn't want the pattern fighting with a lot of open space, and so I didn't want it fighting with the pattern. And then I'm stitching it in the called for color, which I bought before I realized there were the company with some of their colorways names. The history isn't good, and I've seen that one particular colorway at my store, and I just refuse to buy the linen because I'm not buying anything that says it's Confederate. I'm just, no, I'm from the South. I know what that means. No. I grew up in Texas. No. But anyway, I was thinking about rekitting it, and then I started trying to do it, and it was hard, and I wimped out. So I'm stitching it in the called for colors. I will not be buying from this company again. If I have a project that calls for colors from this company, I will not. I will just go either straight DMC or something else. But I couldn't find replacements for a lot of these at the time, and so it's like, okay, fine, we'll stick with it for this one. I'm not going to do it again. But anyway, so these are the colors, and I'm currently stitching with this one, which is Whiskey, and I really like how it's looking. So that's what I'm doing on that one. And what I will also be doing, let's see, where did I put them? I always start out so organized for these things. So what I'm also going to do is I have my original piece of Picture This Plus Phantom that I had purchased, thinking to do something like this on. And I may do the Russian one on this one, I don't know. But what I want to do is I have these patterns from Summer House Stitchworks. Where are we? There we are. I need to just look at what I'm doing and then look at the camera. So I have these patterns from Summer House Stitchworks. Little curly cues and stars and stripes. And then this one is, what's this? This one's Galileo's Telescope. And so I thought I would stitch these as smalls on the same, using the same colors on the Picture This Plus fabric, and then that would give me some little pieces because I've got a place I want to put it on my wall. And then because I have a really good stereo and it gets kind of loud, you can't soundproof a house without rebuilding your walls, but you can deaden the sound the way it is in a studio so that it doesn't echo and there's no reverb. There's reverb in this room. It's not bad because of the bookshelves and stuff. But so I have bookshelves. I also have things on my walls. I have a couple of purchased sound baffling items, and I have bass traps in the corners and stuff. So if you see weird things on my walls ever, that's what they are. But that helps deaden sound, and so it doesn't echo, and so that helps eliminate some of the noise with like bass, and you have a lot of you get a lot of reverb off of that. And anyway, that's what the Galactic Gal Yard then is going to be. It's going to replace one of the plain foam things I have up there because I just think it looks so cool. And it's my first sampler. It's got specialty stitches in it. It has a Smyrna cross that I have to look up how to do before I really go much further. In this corner, inside this little square is a Smyrna cross. I have to figure out how to do those. I know Royal Needlework has a tutorial up on how to do them, and I have some books on how to make them, so hopefully it won't be too hard, but this will be my first time ever doing something like this. So I'm kind of excited. I don't know how much I'll work on it immediately. I mean, I'm working on it today because I hit a point with the Snow Bear where I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm tired of this. I'm going to do that. And so I don't know how much. My goal, I don't really have a finished goal for it. I need to figure one out because plans-wise, I have the 3 pieces I have to finish this year. I have Egg Hunt and I have the 2 stockings I need to have made. And so those are my big planned finishes. And I don't know yet how this Galactic Gal Yard is going to fit in. And then I have other things. So I'll talk about that in a minute. Haul. Well, Merry Christmas to me. I bought myself a little tool for making tassels because I want to make a tassel for my Invierno finish. And then I bought one of these. And it's the actual thread one. So it's actually got the thread. And it actually worked really well in terms of trying to change the colors on that I didn't change on my Galactic Gal Yard because I could, compare and contrast, and they said that this color, and anyway, I wasn't sure it would be worth it, but I had a little bit of, it's kind of a Merry Christmas to me tool for using it, and we'll see. I have it. Okay, this is not cross stitch, but if any of you, I don't know how many of you play Animal Crossing, but the cosplay I keep threatening to do, or well, the Dodo, those of you who don't play the airline on the little Nintendo, it's a Nintendo game, Nintendo Switch, and the airline company on your little island is run by dodos. It's DAL, Dodo Airline. And so the main 2 guys that run it are Orville and Wilbur. And so I just was like, I can make an amigurumi Orville or Wilbur, or both, eventually, when I ever get around to doing amigurumi, because right now I don't have time because I have costuming to finish and I have cross stitch, and you work, you have household, you have a car, you have groceries, so many things interfere with the stitchy time. Although, if there's one thing that's happened because of the pandemic, I hate grocery shopping. I hate it with a passion. It was one of the hardest things to make myself do after I moved out. I pawned most of it off on the spousal unit before I left. And I hate it. So, ordering groceries online? Yes. So, I've tried several different services. I have friends who know the person who founded Instacart, and they're like, don't. They're a terrible person. All right, so I try not to use Instacart, but the gig economy is awful, period. Okay, that's a rant I won't go into. Pause, breathe, drink. Okay. Haul. I like ordering groceries online because it gives me more time to stitch. There we go. How's that? Hopefully that's better than a rant. This, I have no idea when I picked this up, but I am finding I really, really like a lot of the cottage garden sampling patterns. I don't know when I'll get around to this. I have Chubby Bird, which is another little bird. I think it's not by Cottage House, but it's like evidently I like little chubby birds. I just think this one's really sweet. I don't have, well, it calls for weeks dye work, so I'll be kitting this with something else, probably just working it with a lot of the DMC where I have to. But anyway, so I have no idea when I picked this up. I don't know if I've shown it before, but it's haul. I also got my December fabric of the month. I'm Mystics Fabrics Fabric of the Month Club. I laughed so hard. I get 32 Belfast linen because as I've gotten older, my eyes have gotten worse, and some of this stuff I'm not going to get to stitching on right away. I just thought, you know what, go for the 32. I don't care if I was a real cross stitcher. Maybe I'd be doing 46 or 40 count or 50 count, 1/1. You know what? This is my hobby. I want to enjoy it. I'm not doing a chatelaine, so it doesn't matter. I'm doing 32 count because it's easy, and most patterns look fine on it. I like 36. That's what I usually like to work on, but I have definitely noticed as I've gotten older, my eyes don't like it as much, even with the LED magnifying glass I normally use. Anyway, so this is a color. It's a little washed out on the camera. I had to laugh though, because I'm looking at it going, that's an interesting shade of green, and the name of it is Spending Amnesia. And it looks like the color of money. It is almost the color of an old dollar bill. I just had to laugh. I thought that was a great way to end the year. So this is my first time with a Fabric of the Month Club, and I feel like for it to be really worth it, I should probably be getting larger cuts of fabric. I'm ordering and not knowing what you're getting. I am really reluctant to order a large piece of fabric because of that. It makes me nervous because I like some of it and some of it I don't really care for, and I don't want to be paying for a half a yard, or I wouldn't order bigger than a half a yard of something I don't have any idea what's coming, and so I'm not comfortable. But it is fun to get the smaller pieces, and you know, eventually I'll use them, or I'll give them away or find someone who wants to use them. The other fabric I got in, this is for my, and I found them. Did I pick them up? 1 second, please. I don't know what I did with them. This mess back here is me trying to, there we go. This is me trying to figure out what fabric I have, what I got kitted, what I don't, because I said I was kitting things out. It's like, okay, I did all the fabric ordering and floss ordering. Now let me see what I've actually got. But anyway, I ordered this from Starlight Stitchery down in Corvallis. They're great. You can follow them on Instagram. Great service, and just really neat to be able to have two local shops I can order one in my town and one down there, one nearby in Corvallis. It's a little ways away. Anyway, this is Mystic Fabrics, and this is called All the Things. And I got this, let's see if I can get a good color on it. Boy, this backwards camera is weird. How do the weather people do it? I ordered this to replace the Aida cloth that came in my prehistoric horses and whatnot, because I just didn't like it. It's it's a beautiful raw gray color. I've seen these caves. They're not gray. This is a better color. I would really like to pick something out in person, but I'm too afraid to. I've got one more piece of this coming from Starlight Stitchery. I need too much of it to order it unseen, and so I ordered a small piece of it to see if I liked it, and then it was okay. I haven't found. I was kind of thinking I'd do them on Picture This Plus Murky. You can't find Picture This Plus Murky anywhere right now. Maybe there'll be more later, and I might get some later, who knows. But for now, I bought this. There was another one, I think it's Seraphim Fabrics Tornado, but again, I am not sure enough that I'll like it that I want to order enough of it, and you know, even just ordering one small piece can get spendy. It'll work. nobody will know but me, and if I really feel like I need to, I can, I don't know, brush it, dye it, do a little bit of dye myself, but I don't think it needs it. I think that'll work. So that's that haul. I have ordered, I went ahead and ordered the called for fabrics for Polar Pack yarn or thread. I'm rolling off the sewing table here. I have ordered the called for fabric for my Abominable pack and my Polar Pack. Polar Pack. I ordered the fabric for this and the rest of the colors. I didn't order all. It wants cotton. It wants various specialty threads, and for some of them I just was no, like the black and white, I have way more black and white DMC on hand that I want, and I just don't feel like the black you might get good shading with, and I have some Colorworks coloring cotton black, very over dyed, but the rest of them I'm not going to order a bunch of white because I don't feel like there's enough variation in it to matter. I'm seeing it with the 2 different shades of white in my Polar Bear, but I just didn't want to deal with it. So, but I did order some of the called for colors in the coloring cotton specialty threads. So that will hopefully be incoming in the next couple of weeks. The big thing that came in is my Owl Forest embroidery order. It was so cool. I had to sign for it. I had to sign for a doll that was from Mongolia once. The doll company was in Mongolia, and the postman was like, almost didn't want to, he's like, it's from Mongolia. I was just like, oh, it's from Mongolia, but I guess you don't get to deliver packages from Mongolia that often. Russia, he was just like, yeah, here, I need your signature. So I ordered several things. I got this, where is it? I got a needle minder. Will it focus on that? I don't know if it will. Anyway, it's a Comet, kind of to go with the cosmic theme I have going here. It seems like my year this year is going to be Christmas, bears, and Cosmos, which I'm okay with. Cosmos, I watched the original Cosmos with Carl Sagan when I was a little girl, and it rocked my world. It was amazing. Yeah, it kind of blew me away. The other thing I ordered was I got this. It looks similar to Galactic Gal Yard. It's a little more regular. And what I may wind up doing is if I need things to fill in on my Galactic Gal Yard where I don't have, where my wording change, my quote doesn't quite fit, I may use some of these motifs to fill in, but I think I'm also just going to stitch this one. Because why not? It has rocket ships. See? It has a rocket ship. I think it has Sputnik. It has, I think I saw flying, oh yeah, it has flying saucers. It has little, I think that's an alien. Anyway, it has fun things. And so I bought that, and I also bought the floss pack for it. So these are all Owl Forest embroidery colors. They're cute. They come with bobbins. I don't use bobbins. Actually, I have a different storage system I'm using. And then the colors, they're really little skeins. They're really pretty. That yellow is looking so washed out. I don't know. That's a better color. But they're really close to the Galactic Gal Yard colors. Very close. So, let's see if I can hold these up. Yeah, there's the blues, and there's the yellows and oranges. They're really pretty. Ah, don't go. Don't go. Don't go. So I am looking forward to stitching that. Partly I was just, make sure I haven't dropped anything. I'll just use DMC. I can't get them in here as neatly as they were. I'm just going to stuff them. I just use DMC, but I've watched so many floss tubes and seen so many pictures on Instagram, and looking at, the pictures, designer pictures, you start to see the difference the variegated threads, overdyed threads make on some of them. And some of them I'm like, yeah, I want that, and others I don't care. The other thing I ordered with my Phantom, when I ordered my Phantom, is I just got a couple of different Gentle Art samplers colors because I wanted to see what they looked like. This one is Verdigris. No, this one is Verdigris, which is really pretty, kind of tarnished coppery metal. And then this one is, what is this one? Cinders. They're really pretty. So I don't know what I'll use them for, but I was trying to look at the colors and see what they're like because I have a couple things I want to stitch. And then the other thing that I got from Al Forest, I wanted this one. And I can't read Russian. I have no clue what this is saying. I have a local friend who was a military interrogator. She's looks like a Cupid doll, but she was a military interrogator. She speaks fluent Russian, and so I'm probably going to see if she'll read these to me. I doubt there's anything that interesting. But anyway, so I got this kit because bear, and I thought it looked really cool. So in the kit you get the floss. Camera, where are you? There we go. You get all the floss. You get a needle minder that matches. Little bear. You get instructions on how to work with variegated thread, and then there's a blue linen that it came with that I may or may not use. And then you get the pattern, and you get the pattern as one, and you get the pattern also broken up into small pieces. And you can do this one. They have it stitched as a one big piece with 3 animals, and then they also have it stitched individually. And I went ahead and got the individual kits, but I reserve the right to change my mind and stitch it all as one big piece. So that was one. I got the bear. I got. Oh, I haven't opened this one. I don't know if I can. Seam ripper. That'll work. Maybe. There we go. I got the links, and it's the same. It comes with same threads. You get a little, it's a lynx. Look at the tufts on its ears. Can you see it? Oh no, wait. Oh, that looked like an owl. I held it up there and I thought it was an owl for a minute. Camera. Okay, this camera is weird. Everything is backwards. Anyway, it's got the tufts on its ears. And so that's the lynx. I got that. And then the other thing I got was also not opened yet. I apologize. The other thing I got was still not open. I thought it was open. Okay, come on. There we go. The other thing I got was the owl, because I also have a lot of owl patterns, and so I want to do the bears this year, and then I want to do the owls next year probably. So same thing, you get threads, really pretty. I like their variegated flosses. They're really, really pretty. And then this one definitely has the owl. You see him. And it has a little needle minder that comes with it. So these are really neat. I'm excited about stitching one of them. Don't know when I'll get to it, because as fun as it is to order and kit things up, I have to remember I'm a slow stitcher. I could probably not buy anything now for 5 years and still be busy stitching. But that's haul. And like I said, I have incoming. I have the fabric for the Polar Pack and the Abominable Pack, which are the Yetis. That pattern is in this mess, and I can't find it right now. So I will find it eventually and get it stitched. So that kind of leads me into 2022 plans. The stockings, which I've talked about before. I have Pretty Little Chicago started. I want to work on that, but it's kind of gotten bumped by the Galactic things. But one of the things I did, because I work better with, sad to say, deadlines. I did kind of well when I first started grad school. I did pretty well kind of getting things done, and then as I got through, it just like, I don't wait till the very last minute. But you know what, you tell me I have a 30-page research paper due Monday, and I will I'll do the reading and whatnot, but I'm not writing that thing before probably Saturday. 35-page research paper with footnotes and all that. I mean, I wrote my thesis in 2 weeks, and everybody hates me for it, but I did, because once I focus, I focus. Before that, I can't. Anyway, I made myself and cheesed it up with washi tape and stickers. I'm not an artist. Anyway, that has 2022 with the months, and then I just filled in the months, like the couple of holidays. There's Imbolc, there's Ostara, if I want to do something for those. The date one stocking is due, the date the other stocking is due. They're both due on the 2nd of the month. And so I have deadlines, and that will help me organize my stitching. I am still using, I downloaded, or I bought, I'm a member of the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch community. That's one of the cross stitch communities I kept on Facebook. And so I bought her calendar pack, and I'm going to look at, you know, again, also help me keep focused. But it also, what these kinds of lists do, is that out of sight, out of mind problem that I have. If it's on there, I remember that I have it. And I want to stitch it, because right now I have things I want to stitch, right? I started Galactic Gal Yard. I've got the 3 Russian kits. I've got the Russian solar system, although that one I'm going to put back, because it's definitely coming after I finish Galactic Gal Yard. I also have my, and I wish I knew what I did with the little cards, my 4 little, my other Russian kits, which are the prehistoric cave artwork that I want to stitch. None of these are big projects, but again, I'm a slow stitcher, so it may take me a little while to get those done. So I want to do those. There is also, where did the pattern go? Fabric fell on the floor. Oh, there's my winter bear. It is the Tiny Modernist. Don't run away. I was using it behind. There it is. So, Dr. Christie is doing a Party Like It's $13.99 sale, and for hers, she's doing a Haid. She is doing the Unicorn Tapestry. I forget which one she's doing, but anyway, it's one of the Unicorn Tapestries from Haid. The whatever official formal title are, I will put it in here. And I'm like, oh, and she's like, stitch something vaguely historical and come party like it's $13.99 with us. I was like, I can do that. And I'm like, I have a unicorn tapestry. I have a modern interpretation of a unicorn tapestry, but you know what? This one, they started already, I think, on their sal, but I just thought, you know, I might do this. Because, again, a pattern that I bought early on that looked really complicated to me doesn't look as complicated now. And it would be fun to be stitching with someone else on that. So I have that one kitted, fabric and everything. I'm just doing called for fabric, called for DMC. You all are so courageous with your colors. You're like, oh, I just didn't like it, so I switched it out. I can do color, but I use a color wheel, and I just, when I look at a pattern like this, I usually don't want to change anything, because I guess I trust, it's not even that I trust the designer, it's that I trust the designer more than I trust myself to start making changes. And it's like, if you change one color slightly, I'm always afraid, well, then you need to change all the other colors, and maybe your red's a little too orange now, and I'm not good at making those judgments, and so I just don't. So anyway, that's kind of a plan. Those things are there. I also, a while back, I picked up this book with Joan Elliott, and EJ Creates, where did it go? EJ Creates stitched and finished this one this year. I apologize, the camera is weird. If I do this, I can do better. Anyway, and it looked amazing. And this is the reason I bought this one. And also it has these pretty little side ornaments, which are the little moth pillow and the little moon thing. And so I want to stitch those. And for the moon, this is my monthly fabric. This is one of the first fabric I got from Picture This Plus, or no, I'm sorry, Mystic Fabrics, Fabric of the Month, and it's Olympia. And that one's gorgeous. And then I also from her got this Silver Mist, which was another fabric of the month, which is beautiful. And it kind of looks, on here, it mostly just looks gray, but it's just a really pretty silvery gray. And so between those, I have, that's the fabric for one of these will be the fabric for Moon Mother. I'm not sure which one, and the other, and I have all the beads in Krelnik. And then I also have kitted out of this book these patterns. Well, there's the dragon. I'm not as enamored of the dragon. What I really like are the unicorn and the owl. And so those are things I wouldn't, that are in the queue, so to speak, to be stitched at some point. And I think that's most of it. So I have a lot of stitching to do. I mean, when I look at my, here's my thing, I look at my current whips that I've got, or my current kitting, and then I have, I've showed some of the kits I have. So yeah, I have a lot, and then I have my little bag full of Halloween kits that I have to do. I have owls, I have Sophia, ink circles Sophia. Is it ink circles? No, that's Summer House Stitchworks Sophia. I have the ink circles Athene owl. I have another little owl that I got that's cute, that I bought from Stitched Modern. I forget the designer on that one. And, it's there's so much I need to slow down. And I have my Edinburgh. So I have a lot of things to stitch. Plans are right now, focus on the ones I've got right in front of me, which are Winter Bear, Pretty Little Chicago, Galactic Gal Yard, the 3 gifts I have to make. Once I finish those, I will think about other things. But I'm trying with the planner to be a little more deliberate and set monthly goals. And maybe some of this we're just finally getting used to living with a pandemic, it's hard to think forward into the future sometimes, and that's one of my mental health things is when the future completely disappears, and I'm talking when I can't see past tonight, then I know I need to check myself in for help, more help than I can give myself. But in general, having something to look forward to is a really important thing, and I have to make these things for myself to look forward to. I'm not making travel plans. I'm really, really glad I did not put a down payment on the trip to Spain I wanted to take in the spring. I'm really glad I just said no. And then by the time I thought, well, yeah, I went back and they were filled. So, and now I'm kind of glad because I don't think I would be going. I wouldn't be comfortable traveling at this point. But having things to look forward to, so I'm going to hope that if I'm a little more deliberate and I plan, okay, I want to have this project done by this time, it gives me a focus for my stitching to keep me moving forward on it, but it also gives me something to look forward to finish, even if it's not, it's just, hey, I'll have this done, and someday someone can pull it out of a pile of archaeological artifacts and go, look, and it will disintegrate because it's linen. And that's what linen does when it's buried. It disintegrates. Yeah, anyway, that's my cross stitch. I am hoping to do a FFO parade on I'm going to put it up on my journal because I'm kind of trying to do that too. I spend all day at work on the computer, and it's not fun then to sit down and go on the computer and put together a blog entry, which for me, they tend to be a little intensive. I don't know. I'm a writer. I guess that doesn't help. But I'm going to try and update there a little bit more. I did put a cosplay one up recently. It's just creakygeekery.net is my blog. And yeah, I've had it for a while. You can tell. I think this year I updated it at the beginning of the year, and now I'm updating it at the end of the year. So it's not always in use, but if you want to subscribe, I'm going to try, I put things up there. And I'll do a cross stitch FFO, just all the things I finished, because I actually did finish things. Even though they were small, I finished them. So hopefully I can finish a few bigger things this year. And so yeah, that's most of my cross stitch. I did want to take 1 minute to show off. I don't think I did a tour of, look what I did of my roadie vest for my Thorin and Company cosplay. I'm already thinking of redoing it, more medieval, do more of a gambeson type of garment, sleeveless gambeson, and then I got a pattern to make it a pirate shirt, the one with the dropped yoke and the really full sleeves. Make it out of like a burgundy color. But this is my roadie vest. I got a little pin. I wore it at the Celtic Fair, and I got a little vaccinated pin. Anyway, my cosplay is Princess Dys, or Lady Dys, and she was, if you're familiar with the book, she was Thorin Oakenshield's sister. She was Fili and Keely's mom. Back when I was in 8th grade, my best friend and I were Fili and Keely in, she was Fili, I was Keely, in our school's presentation of the Hobbit play. So I fell in love with the dwarves then, and I've always loved them. Anyway, so this is what I did as my Princess Dys. And yes, this is heavily influenced by Sons of Anarchy. Kind of started life that way, and then I decided I didn't, given the current, just really thinking about it, I don't really want to glorify, as much as I love the show, I don't really want to glorify racist, gun-running, drug lords. So I kind of tried to do it more as a tour band roadie vest, hence my wanting to redo it, because it's still very much, yes, I took my inspiration from Sons of Anarchy. But anyway, on this one, this says, Yana Duranel, which means Sons of Durin, and then this is from the Doors of Moria. This was the shield of Durin, the hammer and the crown, and the 7 stars of Durin. Durin's crown was the constellation. And then on the bottom here, Tolkien signature. It was supposed to go up here, but it was too big. And what's really funny is this kept getting lost. I mean, this one time slid down in a drawer. I was like, I couldn't find it anywhere, and then I noticed that a drawer was where I laid it out and was working on it was cracked open, and it was down in the bottom of the drawer. It's like, okay, so I know what Tolkien's ghost thinks about what I'm doing. Doesn't like it. Anyway, this one says Sigintareg, which is Longbeard, which is what they were. And this one is, this is Neo-Khuzdul, which is, Khuzdul, which is the dwarf language, was the language Tolkien put the least effort into. But he based it on Hebrew and some other Semitic languages. And so people, for the movies, they made up a little bit more, and people have kind of run with it online. There's one particular guy that's done a lot. Anyway, so this is Mahazali, which is in remembrance, basically, or remember, the command to remember. And then the Thorin, Fili, and Keely, because as much as I understand, according to the Saxon sagas and whatnot, that Fili and Keely had to die in The Hobbit, I still hate it. And that's still one of my biggest issues with the movie, was that Peter Jackson just kind of threw away their lives. He didn't, sorry, fangirl, he gave, like, the deaths in The Lord of the Rings, he gave Boromir and Theoden, it was just so much weight, so much, that was so well done. And then in these movies, you could tell his heart wasn't in it, because he just kind of threw them away. And even Thorin, it was just basically a big fight. It didn't have the emotional weight and resonance it should have. Anyway, so then the back of it, what I did, instead of doing the biker patch, which I kind of started out with, as you can tell, the Thorin and Company, because that was what Thorin called them. They were Thorin and Company. These are all taken off of the map, the hand pointing to the door, secret door, and this is all sewn out on my embroidery machine. I have a machine embroidery machine, and then I did The Quest for Erebor, Third Age 2941. So it was like, this is the album tour that they were on. They were promoting. This is their list of, which way? There we go. This is the list of places they played. I was doing like the names from the book and the language, like these would be Ered Luin, Bagin, Trollshaws, Imladris, Goblin Town, but then people aren't going to know that as well, so I did just the regular names. Beorn's Hall, Mirkwood Esgaroth, which is Lake Town, The Desolation of Smaug, and The Lonely Mountain. And then I have event patches and location patches I wanted to do. The only two that I really got done were this one. Can you see it? There we go. Blunt the knives, crack the plates, Bilbo Baggins' place. And then these are the symbols that Gandalf actually put on Bilbo's door, which were burglar for hire, dangerous jobs accepted. And then this one is my favorite, and I may have shown this one, but I just love it. It is if I can get the camera to work, Misty Mountain Fun Run. And honestly, I got this out of a Tolkien book. They went in and figured out how far they went and how far they ran and how long it lasted. And it was 35 miles, in 2.5 days, and then at least 10,000 goblins, probably more, but you know. So I just thought this was really fun. And the goblin, there's a really cool website called Urban Threads, and that's where I get a lot of these machine embroidery patterns from. And they make them. They're very good with copyright, so I don't have to worry about it being stolen from anybody. Um, and they have a lot of just really fun stuff. And then they have another site called Embroidery Library that has a little more typical things that I will buy there as well. But yeah, so this is what I did, and that's my vest. And then I wound up, I looked kind of, all I needed was a plaid t-shirt, a plaid shirt tied around my waist, and I would have nailed the 1980s manic pixie girl look, Cyndi Lauper, because I had a pork pie hat, I had a pork pie hat, I had a tiered lacy Stevie Nicks skirt, I had a striped shirt and that vest and some boots and fishnet stockings, and I was like, yeah, I nailed the early 80s manic pixie girl look, which was really fun. So yeah. Anyway, I think that's everything from me now. Again, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I enjoy it. If you have comments, things to offer, I'd love to read them. I will try to reply to them. Sometimes I get busy and I forget to come back. And here's hoping for a better year this year in a lot of reasons. A lot of reasons. Not just the pandemic, but just there's a lot of things. And here's hoping for some good change this year. And then, if nothing else, happy stitching, and I'm wishing joy and health and prosperity to you and yours. So, Happy New Year, happy stitching, see you next time, bye.